Hey guys, it's JWong here. So this is a video talking about the Pokemon Go tracking, like where it was from the very beginning to what it is now. And at the very beginning, it was a lot different than what people thought it was going to be. In the very beginning, the trailer really showed Pokemon being directed to certain locations. So, like, say for example, that you would find this Pokemon this way with directions. And that really was kind of a cool thing where you could find Pokemon based off of, like, oh, it's this way. You go there, walk towards this way, and you'll find it. And then when the game first came out, before it came out worldwide, it kind of had that, and it did show the numbers that it did, like in the trailer. It showed how many meters you're far away from that Pokemon and how close you are from it. And so in the first beta, as shown in this picture that I hopefully post up here, it showed that basically that you're this many meters away from the Pokemon, and then it would update that probably by the hundreds that you're getting closer and closer till you absolutely reach it, which would show that would be good. That would be really good. Then when the game actually came out, it didn't have that. It had footprints, and what the footprints did was say on a scale of 0 to 3, where 0 is the closest and 3 is the farthest, how close is the Pokemon on the radar, and that did work. It was really simple to understand and very easy to understand. But the only issue about that in general was the fact that you didn't know how close or how far it was. And what I mean by that is you'd have to have good understanding of what direction it is and how much is a footprint. There was a lot of guides on like Reddit and like all that stuff saying how far the farthest footprint is and how close the closest footprint is. But it was a good way in general just to get starting for tracking. It was a fun way to like find Pokemon when it worked, and that was the fun part about it. But it could have done work. Then 2 weeks into the game getting released, it all of a sudden stopped working. This is infamously known as the free footprint glitch, which basically means that if you were trying to look for a Pokemon, you just couldn't find a Pokemon on the radar. You just hope that walking wondrously, you'll be able to find that Pokemon, which absolutely sucks because, finding Pokemon in Pokemon Go is kind of like the fun thing to do. So, what did people do? A lot of smart-minded individuals found how to, I don't know, something along the lines of getting the API or like grabbing information from the client and finding where these coordinates of the Pokemon are based off of that client finding those Pokemon. And then that made a bunch of third-party sites be able to do stuff called Pokemon tracking, where you could basically track the Pokemon and pinpoint location based off of where the little cursor is on the map, and it would show exactly where it is. A lot of people use this because, well, I can't track my Pokemon on my phone, so how am I going to do that? And it worked for those people that really wanted to do that until July 31st. July 31st was when they removed the footprints, which wasn't really the big deal for a lot of people. And then they also blocked all the major tracking sites, which sucked. It sucked for the people that were trying to find Pokemon. It sucked for the people that were developing for that and putting a lot of time and effort into it. And it also sucked for Niantic, apparently, because, well, what happened was they were using up all the resources according to their press post, which kind of makes sense because basically if a user was playing the game and the user was also using that tracking device, it would be probably almost twice the load that it would be. But not probably realistically. Probably it's a significant amount, but not that much big of not double. I don't think it would be double. But yeah, what happened there was that caused a huge outrage for that week, and when that week came, refunds were coming left, right, and center. People were getting their pitchforks and torches and trying to get Niantic to actually tell them what the heck's going on because this game's going to go down the hill. And it caused a really bad low point for Pokemon Go. Thankfully, throughout the week, Niantic actually responded and said what was going on. They said that basically, we know that the 3 footprint glitch is going to be an issue. We're going to fix it in the future, and we're going to make something that will work. We're making something, don't worry. And also Brazil, we're going to release to you soon. So when that happened, they released Brazil almost like a day or two after, and there wasn't any footprints. People were getting a little bit impatient because, of course, you want your stuff now. And then I think along August 8th or so, the update came, and lo and behold, nearby is now called sightings. And everyone's like, okay, so well, is there anything new about this? Well, thankfully, kinda. So when looking at that, it basically changed the fact that now there's no footprints to the fact that it shows low grass spots behind the Pokemon, and also that it's more accurate when it shows what Pokemon nearby. What it also did was, if there's any duplicate Pokemon, it'd be removed into just one category. So they're saying that there's these type of Pokemon nearby. Not nearby, but there's sightings of this Pokemon. But then a lot of people are like, so where's nearby then? Does that mean it's gone? They just changed it because they want to change it? Well, actually, believe it or not, no. What happened during that as well was basically a select few amount of people got an improved nearby. And this nearby was a lot better. As in, it was very precise, and it showed where the Pokemon was, and it helped people find it really quickly. It was, in fact, basically, in my opinion, Pokemon Vision for one Pokemon at a time. Because that's what it was. It showed the location of the Pokemon with the nearby feature, and you were able to find that Pokemon really easily by tracking on your map, and it worked really well. It works really well for the people that have it. But the only downside is that you have to have a Pokestop or a bunch of Pokestops to have that feature to work, or else it's not going to find those nearby Pokemon, which might suck, but I think I know why they did it. So the reasoning why I think all this came down, why they removed that tracking feature to reduce the number of footprints, is because I think, in my opinion, that Niantic was probably facing legal concerns. I think that, in my opinion, that for some reason, a lot of people were walking on the streets, walking off of cliffs, as you've heard on the news already, and doing a bunch of stupid things because they were looking at their thing and saying, oh, I'm getting closer to it, and then all of a sudden they're getting hit by a car. Now, obviously, you should not be doing that if you have some common sense or at least some sort of awareness. But people are obviously going to do it because there's those type of people on our planet. So yeah, I probably bet you Niantic really had to go, oh shoot, we need to put some legal stuff in our app. So that update that whatchamacallit removed the footprints also put a bunch of legal warnings. Don't drive while playing Pokemon. Be careful of your surroundings. And then the update that added the sightings said, you're driving too fast. You are probably driving, and you need to press I'm a passenger to make sure you said you were a passenger, or else you're lying, and you can't sue them for that. So that's why they probably added the tracking at Pokestops, because it makes sense from a safety concern. It makes sense because it means that Niantic won't get sued for being at a building that won't have probably any cars in it, and will reduce the risk of that happening. Now, will Pokestops maybe cause trouble still? Probably, believe it or not, because some people will come during the night, go, oh, there's a rare Pokemon nearby. It's in the middle of like 3 a.m. and of course there's gonna be some bad guys out that time. And knowing Saskatoon where I live, there's gonna be a bunch of bad people in here anyways doing stupid stuff at that time, because apparently, off topic here, whoever bear-maced people at the middle of our river at 3 a.m., please don't do that. That's not a no-no. That added to our that got 3 people hurt. And please don't. Anyways, what I'm trying to say here is, with the future of tracking, I think they're trying to make tracking in such a way that it's safe for the user, that they're not walking on the street, and that the sightings is just there just to say, hey, there's a bunch of random Pokemon nearby, but we're not going to tell you where it is because we don't want you to get hurt. Just walk around and hopefully find it. I think they won't even change that at all because of that reasoning. Now, who does this harm the most? Well, at the very moment, I think this will currently harm the people that play in rural areas or suburban areas, because they don't get as many Pokestops as city people. So what's going to happen for them is basically they could be wandering around and can't find Pokemon. Now, what is the solution? Well, I'm hoping that in the future they add Pokestops to nearby rural areas and also more suburban areas. In fact, I hope they reopen portal submissions or Pokestop/gym submissions, because they just need more people just submitting that to them. Now, that's probably going to cost them a lot of resources, so I doubt they will do that. But I really hope that there's some sort of way to make it so that the rural people and suburban people can enjoy the game without going too much into the city, because it's not fun for some people that just can't play the game at all. Now, what do I think is a good idea to make this a lot better for people? I think, in my opinion, if they were to add a home, if they were to add like a home, so you can, for you, or you can set a home anywhere for within once every month, you can reset your home wherever you want. That home basically will help you improve your area. And how it would do that is basically by the kilometers you walked. You would walk a certain amount of kilometers, and once you return home, you can use those kilometers on various things, such as crafting items or crafting improvement to your area. Now, the improvement to your area is going to cost a lot of kilometers, and it probably, in my opinion, would probably take hundreds of kilometers to make that happen. The reason why I think that's the case is because if there's a lot of people in the area, there's going to be a lot of people, having strong Pokemon in the area, and it kind of kills the game. So also, as well, I would assume there's going to be, if I was to implement something like that, it would be a capacity where you don't get all the rare Pokemon, and based off the populace, it nerfs the area based off like how many people are getting these upgrades. So say, for example, you got 100 people in an area that somehow got the upgrade. Then you would just still have it slightly better for that area, but not compared to like rural areas where there's a far less chance of people playing the game, and you would be less likely to have people improve the area, so that it would increase the rarity based on that. Now, I'm thinking of this as a developer mind, and that's almost impossible to, well, not impossible, that'd be very hard to do. So another way to probably simplify that is limit the cap of how much this area can be improved. That probably could be better. I'm not too sure. It would probably be the optimal solution. And also, having your house set in a certain area would mean that that area would have a certain radius of that improvement. That's what I would be thinking about, how they would improve Pokemon findings in the area. It's not the greatest, in my opinion, but it would do something to give people more walking more and give them better incentive to actually explore the area, because that's what a lot of people need. They need the ability to have not just their eggs hatched by walking, but also the fact that walking helps with other things too, because the whole point of Pokemon Go is to actually get out and explore. So if that is the thing that happens, then having the incentive to walk would help significantly towards that feature, and it would also help towards the user playing the game. It would make them go outside more. Well, now, would that solve the depth of the game? Probably not, because once again, catching all the Pokemon is basically almost the primary goal, and fighting gyms isn't really an incentive as much as it needs to be right now. So I'm hoping in the future that the depth of the game gets deeper. I know that they've said multiple times trading's coming in, but trading to me doesn't add a depth to the game. Unless you can do battling, then that adds depth to the game, because you can actually fight something against actual players instead of an AI that doesn't really fight that well. That adds a little bit more depth, but once again, there's got to be more to that. There's got to be more reason. Why would you fight someone? Just for fun? Well, that is a good reason. There's got to be another reason of what do you get out of it? Because I feel like if they add something for that too, then they're starting to get into a game that gets more and more depth and more replay and more people to stay in the game. Because if they don't within the next like month or two, you'll see a dip. But once a new feature comes in, that feature has to kick in and also make sure that those people stay that have left and came back to check it out. So yeah, that's what my my thoughts for like today are I hope you like these kind of videos where I like try to think and try to like say what's going on with these games and hopefully how they improve. If you want me to also talk about like No Man's Sky and procedural content generation, I would love to, because in fact I actually made a game that had procedural content generation. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.
Baby, I'm here.
Also, the cube. I'll say this once, and don't ask me in the comments below where's the cube, because I'm going to be answering this here once. I'm giving you once. When the war sieges in the Fire Nation, and the whatever nation is in the cube, I will arrive with full vengeance.